Friends, I'm back to continue our session on cell division. Okay, in the last session we had completed the first part of this chapter, that is the structure of chromosomes. Then we also saw a brief introduction of cell division, then significance of cell division, the types of cell division, that is mitosis. Then I had also explained as to why mitosis is called as somatic cell division, then equational cell division. Then the phases of cell division we had briefly discussed, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So today we will continue with the cell division, but before that first we will note down a few question answers and then continue with the phases of cell division. So just have a look here. First, continuing with the questions in the same series. So define cell division and list its significance. So cell division is defined as the method of producing new cells from pre-existing cells by their division in such a way that the daughter cells receive the same hereditary material, that is the chromosomes, as present in the parent cell. Okay, in the last session I had explained all these factors, these aspects to you. Next is, what is the significance of cell division? Growth and development, replacement, repair and reproduction. Okay. The next question is, define mitosis. Explain why it is called as the somatic cell division. So mitosis is a type of cell division in which a cell divides into two identical daughter cells, each containing the same number of chromosomes as present in the parent cell. Okay. Mitosis takes place in all the body cells, that is they are called as the somatic cells, for growth, development, replacement and repair. Hence it is known as somatic cell division. Next question is, justify. Mitosis is also known as equational cell division. The number of chromosomes remains the same as what is present in the parent cell. Hence this cell division is also known as equational cell division. Okay, now we'll have a look at the next part. Okay, continuing with the next question, list the phases of mitosis with neat label diagrams for an animal cell. Okay, now just before the division of the cell, the nucleus prepares for this change by entering the interphase, which is the preparatory phase, but called the resting phase since no change in the chromosomes is visible externally. Okay, now this interphase I had explained to you is further divided into G1 phase, that is first growth phase, synthesis phase and G2 phase. Okay. Next, it is mitosis is completed in two steps. First is karyokinesis. Karyon means nucleus and kinesis means division. So the nuclear changes that occur during cell division are collectively called as karyokinesis. Okay, that is division of nucleus. And this occurs in four main stages, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. And karyokinesis will be followed by cytokinesis, that is division of cytoplasm. Okay. Now I had explained to you prophase. Now you have to draw these diagrams neatly using color pencils. Now use four different colors as I have used here to represent four different chromosomes. Now this is the first stage, interphase. Okay, now in interphase, the chromatin network, you can see these are the four different chromatin networks, four threads in the four different colors. Then this is the centrosome containing the centriole. Okay, and this is the nucleolus. Now in interphase itself, this chromatin network will become thick, short ribbon like chromosomes, but it is shown in the next phase. So in early prophase, what you can see, the chromatin network, which was long thread like, has become short, thick ribbon like chromosomes. Okay, each chromosome is made up of two chromatids joined at the centromere. So this is the centromere which joins the two chromatids. Now the centrosome splits and this is having one centriole in it. Okay, so now that one centriole will divide to form two daughter centrioles. So these are the daughter centrioles. Now each centriole will develop some ray like structures around it, which are called as the astral rays, and centriole plus astral ray together is known as aster. Okay, now both these asters will develop certain thread like structures between them. Now these thread like structures are called as the spindle fibers, and these spindle fibers will go on increasing. Okay, so in the next stage, that is the late prophase, you can see the number of spindle fibers has increased. The two asters have moved to the poles. So this is one aster here, other aster here. What is aster? Aster is nothing but the centriole plus astral rays. And each chromosome will get attached with the help of the centromere and the spindle fibers. So each chromosome, here if you observe, chromosomes were just suspended, right? There is no attachment. But here if you observe, the chromosomes have got attached with the help of the spindle fiber at the centromere. See, all of them have got attached at the centromere with the help of the spindle fibers. If you remember, this was the function of the centromere, second function of the centromere, which we had discussed earlier. Okay, so nuclear membrane, if you observe, has started to disappear. I have shown this as dotted. Here it was solid, and this nucleolus is disappearing, which has already disappeared here. Okay, so the major changes are taking place in prophase. That is, first is the chromatin network becomes short, thick, ribbon-like chromosomes. Each chromosome is attached. Each chromosome is made up of chromatids joined at the centromere. That is one. Then second, the daughter centrioles will develop certain ray-like structures called as the astral rays, and together it is known as the aster, and they will move to the opposite poles. And nuclear membrane will begin to disappear, nucleolus will disappear, and finally the chromosomes will get attached with the help of the spindle fibers at the centromere. Clear? So this is the longest phase, which takes almost up to 40 to 45 minutes. Now the next phase, after prophase, you have to draw metaphase. Now metaphase, if you observe, characteristic of metaphase, all the chromosomes have got aligned along the equatorial plane. If you see here, they are distributed. Yes, they are at different distances from the pole, but if you observe here, they are all in the center. So that is characteristic of metaphase, that is the chromosomes lie along the equatorial plane. And then usual other things you should mark, because any one such diagram will be asked, that this is the centriole, these are the astral rays, together it forms the aster, spindle fibers, and this is the centromere, the chromatids, and you have to mention that they are along the equatorial plane. That is characteristic of metaphase. Okay. Now next phase is anaphase. Now here in anaphase, what will happen? The centromere is going to split. Centromere is the point of attachment of two sister chromatids, right? So if you observe here, the centromere has split and the two sister chromatids have got separated. Here they were connected, right? Now here they have got separated. So the two sister chromatids have separated due to contraction of the spindle fibers, and they will start moving towards the poles, and the number of spindle fibers also will go on gradually decreasing. So characteristic of anaphase is that you will see the splitting of the centromere, and these are now called as, you can call them as daughter chromatids, or in some textbook they are also called as daughter chromosomes. Okay, so they have split, and this is important characteristic. You have to mention this: sister chromatids separate and move to the opposite poles due to contraction of spindle fibers. This is very important. That is characteristic of anaphase. Okay. In late anaphase, what do you observe? They are further moving towards the poles. Number of spindle fibers have decreased, and now a furrow is appeared in the cytoplasm. So this is just the beginning of the cytokinesis, means division of cytoplasm. So this furrow is going to now deepen further. Okay, is it clear? So you have to draw these diagrams neatly using color pencils. Okay, now we'll have a look at the next stage. Okay, now in the next phase is telophase. Now in telophase, you have to understand exactly reverse of prophase will take place. Yes, now this furrow, that is the process of cytokinesis will further, this furrow will further deepen, and the cytokinesis takes place by formation of a furrow, and the furrow is from the periphery. This is the background. So from the periphery it moves towards the center. So such cytokinesis is called as centripetal. Okay. Now the nuclear membrane has reappeared. If you observe, nuclear membrane has reappeared, nucleolus has reappeared, the chromosomes have become again long thread-like structures, that is chromatin network, and the centrosome has reappeared. Okay, so exactly the reverse conditions will take place in telophase as what was occurring in prophase, and ultimately this furrow will further deepen, and you are getting two daughter cells, each containing again 4. We started with 4 chromatin network, and we are ending also with 2 cells, daughter cells, having the same number of chromosomes. Okay, so spindle fibers have disappeared, daughter chromatids then thin out in form of chromatin fibers, nuclear membrane reappears, nucleolus reappears, and the cleavage of the furrow beginning of cytokinesis starts deepening in the animal cell. Okay, and finally the cleavage furrow deepens totally and separates to form two daughter cells. So ultimately you are getting two daughter cells having the same number of chromosomes as what is present in the parent cell. Okay, now once these two daughter cells are formed, if you observe, they are small in size, so they will gradually increase in size. Yes, and the after mitosis the daughter cells will again enter into the interphase. Now in interphase, I had explained there are three phases. First is the G1 phase. So in the first growth phase, what will happen? The cells will increase in size, the more cytoplasm will get filled in it, and RNA and proteins which are necessary for the process of cell division will be formed or will be produced. Now at the end of G1 phase, the cell has to decide whether it will further continue with cell division or go into a resting phase called the R phase. Now on what factor that will depend? Yes, whether the cell will continue to divide. If it continues to divide, it will go into the next phase, that is the synthesis phase. So DNA duplication will take place. Then second growth phase, more RNA and proteins, and again mitosis. But if it goes into the resting phase, further division will not take place. So on what factor that depends will be where the cell is located. If the cell is located on your skin, so surface skin cells, there is continuous wear and tear, so this process will go on continuing. Means the cell cycle will continue. So basically you have to understand cell cycle means it is one mitosis and one interphase. Okay. Now if it is a liver cells, it will divide, it will go into resting phase, it will divide only once in some 500 days. Okay. So and if it's RBC, 120 days. So whether the cell will go into a resting phase or will continue with the cell division will depend upon where the cell is located. Like for example, brain and the nerve cells, there is no centrosome. Yes, so they have lost the ability to divide. So once they are formed in the embryo, they will never divide. Okay, so because they do not have centrosome, you may have learned that in nervous system. Okay, now we have to see the comparison. Now we have drawn mitosis for animal cell. Now we have to compare the mitosis in animal cell and plant cell. Now in animal cell, centrosome is present, so the aster is formed. Yes, and that aster is called as amphiastral spindle. Spindle is with aster, so it is called as amphiastral spindle. Now in plant cell, asters are not formed because centrosome is absent. Okay. Then spindle formed is with asters and called as amphiastral spindle. In animal cell, spindle is without asters and is called as anastral spindle. Okay. Then cytokinesis takes place by constriction, that is called as a furrow in the cytoplasm. And here it takes place by formation of a cell plate. So between the two cells, yes, a cell plate will be formed, and that cell plate will grow from the center towards the periphery. Okay. And here cytokinesis is centripetal, proceeds from the outside. This furrow, as you saw, it proceeds from outside, it is moving inside. Okay, so that is called as centripetal, from outside to the center. Here cytokinesis is centrifugal, proceeds from the center towards the periphery. Spindle formation is with the help of centrosome, that is the centrioles, and here spindle formation is with the help of cytoplasmic strands called microtubules. Okay, you can have a look at the plant cell diagrams in the school textbooks. Generally they ask you to draw the animal cell only. Okay, now we'll have a look at the next part, that is meiosis. Okay, so with that we complete mitosis. That is, we saw what is mitosis, then the different stages of mitosis, prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. You have to practice the diagrams by drawing them neatly. Yes, at least one or two diagram based questions or just to draw the diagram also is asked. Then we also saw what is cell cycle, that is one mitosis and one interphase forms the cell cycle, and whether the cell will go into the further division depends upon where it is located. So this mitosis was for growth, development, replacement and repair. Then when we saw the significance of cell division in general, we saw that there was another type of cell division which is called as meiosis, which is taking place only in the reproductive organs for the formation of the gametes, that is the sperm and the ovum. Okay. So meiosis, how do we define meiosis? Meiosis is a type of cell division, yes, in which the cell undergoes two successive divisions, ultimately to form four daughter cells, each containing half the number of chromosomes as what is present in the parent cell. Okay, so meiosis is taking place only in reproductive organs and 2 successive divisions are taking place. Now you have to understand that in meiosis also you have all these stages, prophase 1, metaphase, anaphase, but all the details you don't have in the syllabus. Only thing what is there in the syllabus is the process of crossing over, which is taking place in prophase 1. So I will explain that, but just we'll have a look at the 2 divisions first. So now meiosis, division 1 is called as reductional division. Reductional division means what? The chromosome number is reduced to half, means you start with 46 chromosomes and it will result in 2 daughter cells to form 23 each. See, I have represented it like this. So you start with 46. Okay, so maybe the cells in the testis or cells in the ovary, that is the germinal epithelium cells, they will divide by division 1 and you will get 2 cells with 23 each, 23 chromosomes. So this is the reductional cell division. Now division 2 is called mitosis. Why mitosis? Because the chromosome number is remaining the same. So this cell will undergo division 2 to form again 2 cells but with same number of chromosomes, 23. This also will undergo division to form same number of chromosomes, that is 23 and 23. So this is totally you are getting 4 cells with half the number of chromosomes. Okay. Now why this reductional division is very important? Because the gametes, now we said that by meiosis only gametes are being formed. Yes. Now if the gametes have half the number of chromosomes, that is 23 each, then when fertilization takes place, the normal chromosome number, that is 46, will get restored. Okay, which is the human chromosome number. But if initially only if the sperms and the ovum have 46, then if you add 46 plus 46, you will get whatever which is not a human. So humans always have 46 chromosomes. So this reduction in the chromosome number is very important. So that's why gametes are always produced by the process of meiosis. Okay. Now I'll just explain you this phenomenon of crossing over, then we'll write it down. Now you have to understand first concept what is called as homologous chromosomes. Now what are homologous chromosomes? Now we said that during fertilization sperm will unite with the ovum to form the fertilized egg, or it is called as a zygote. So one set of chromosomes is coming from the father and one set from the mother, that is paternal and maternal, it is said. So homologous chromosomes are nothing but a pair of chromosomes which are similar in shape and size, one contributed from the paternal side and one from the maternal side. Okay. So these chromosomes in the prophase itself, they will come and lie next to each other. So that process is called as synapsis and the chromosomes are said to be in bivalent condition. Okay. Now don't get confused with synapse, with what you have learnt in nervous system. Many times just to confuse you purposely, they ask you difference between synapses and synapse. Then these chromosomes are going to split longitudinally. If you observe, they have split longitudinally and each chromosome is made up of 2 chromatids and the entire pair is having 4 chromatids, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is now called as a tetrad. Tetra means 4. Okay. So this is a pair of homologous chromosome. These are the sister chromatids. This is the centromere. Now this and this chromatid, they are called as the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome. Okay. When it is of the same chromosome, sister chromatids. When it is of the pair, homologous, it is called as non-sister chromatids. Okay. So now what is actually crossing over? It is the exchange of genetic material between the non-sister chromatids of a homologous chromosome. This is a homologous chromosome and these are the 2 non-sister chromatids and they are exchanging their genetic material by crossing over. Okay. So once that crossing over process is completed, you will observe something like this. So genes from this have got transferred here and genes from here have got transferred here. So a new combination of genes is being formed in the gametes, which is the reason for the variation. That's why you are not exactly like your parents, right? So there is variation which is taking place at the time of formation of gametes only. Okay. So this new combination of genes is the cause for the variation. Is it clear? So now we'll have a look at the next part. Okay, so just to summarize it, so definition of meiosis is very important. That is type of cell division in which the cell is undergoing two successive divisions producing 4 daughter cells, each containing half the number of chromosomes as compared to the parent cell. Then this crossing over phenomenon is very important. Is, as you can see here, the crossing over phenomenon, that is it is taking place during meiosis. So this is a pair of homologous chromosome, this is the centromere, sister chromatid, and these are the non-sister chromatids, and the point where they exchange, that is called as the chiasma, and this results in a new combination of genes. Okay, and the significance again is very important, that is crossing over takes place between the maternal and paternal chromatids during meiosis, causing an exchange of genetic material between them to produce a new combination of genes in the gametes, resulting in variation. Okay, and this is the diagram how it will appear after the crossing over has taken place. Now we will move to the next part. Okay, so I hope you have understood the meiosis. Only that much what I have explained is there in the curriculum. Okay, now fill in the blanks with respect to meiosis. During meiosis, homologous chromosomes come together and lie side by side in a process called the dash is synapsis. Okay, again important, and the chromosomes are said to be in dash condition, bivalent. During meiosis, chromosomes split longitudinally and 4 chromatids are clearly visible in each pair, condition called as tetrad. Okay, this is the blank. Now in flowering plants, meiosis takes place in the anthers and the ovary to produce pollen grains and ovules. So this is the male reproductive part of the plant, yes, flowering plant, and this is the female reproductive part, and this is the male gametes are pollen grains and female gametes is ovules. So correspondingly in humans, that I have put here in the next fill in the blank, meiosis will take place in the testis and the ovary to produce sperms and ovum respectively. Now it can be, the blank can be for sperms and ovum also, but some question on this you can expect, so that's why I have put it here. Then next, dash and other dash cells once formed in the embryo do not divide further. So that is brain and other nerve cells, once formed they will not divide further. That is mainly because of the absence of centrosome. Okay, so you have various other protein containing substances which are responsible for their growth. Okay, not actual cell division. Now next question, again very important, just as how mitosis in plant and animal cell was. Now we have discussed mitosis as well as meiosis. Now we will see the comparison of mitosis and meiosis. Okay, now mitosis is taking place in all the somatic cells, yes, and meiosis only in the reproductive organs. Mitosis, it occurs for what purpose? Growth, development, replacement and repair. Meiosis is taking place only for the formation of the gametes, that is the sperms and the ovum in animals. Then it will occur continuously throughout the life, yes, till you are alive, right? Because eventually then the replacement and repair functions will be more, growth will be less, okay, at a later age. This will occur only in the reproductively active age. Okay, that is the production of gametes only in the reproductively active age. Here 2 daughter cells are formed in mitosis. Meiosis, 4 daughter cells are formed. Then here this is very important, the full set of chromosomes is passed on to each daughter cell. Okay, condition called as diploid. This is asked many times as a term to explain. What do you mean by diploid? Diploid means the full set of chromosomes is passed on to each daughter cell, condition called as diploid. So you start with 46 and the 2 daughter chromosomes also will have 46 chromosomes. So that's represented as 2n. Here only half the number of chromosomes is passed on to each daughter cell, condition is called as haploid, that is small n. Okay, so diploid and haploid. Then a single nuclear division after chromosome duplication. Here 2 nuclear divisions after chromosome duplication. This I had shown you, division 1 reductional and division 2 similar to mitosis. Here only 1. Okay, so now we'll have a look at the next part. Okay, now we'll have a look at the next question. Note the relationship between the first 2 words and suggest a suitable word for the 4th place. Okay, so division of nucleus is called karyokinesis, division of cytoplasm dash, so that is cytokinesis. Mitosis, 2 daughter cells, meiosis, 4 daughter cells. Okay, mitosis in animal cell is furrow, mitosis in plant cell by cell plate. Testis, sperms, anthers, pollen grains. Mitosis diploid, meiosis haploid. Okay, so this is how the questions are asked. So all these are very important. Animal cell, amphiastral spindle. Plant cell is called as anastral spindle, means without asters. Okay, RNA and protein synthesis in G1 phase, DNA synthesis and chromosome duplication in S phase. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. Adenine pairs with thymine and cytosine with guanine. Then plant cell cytokinesis is termed centrifugal and animal cell cytokinesis is centripetal. Meiosis is taking place in reproductive organs, mitosis in dash. So somatic cells. Okay, don't write body cells. Somatic is the scientific term. So you have to use that word somatic cells. Now we'll have a look at the homework which you are supposed to do. Okay, so note down the homework which you are supposed to do. Now page 23 from the Anish tutorial textbook. Okay, so question 1 is name the following. Yes. So homework is page 23, question 1, name the following. Okay, so you have to write all those, name the following in your notebook. And question 2 is differentiate between the following, that is 1 to 6. Okay, after the 6 there is mitosis, meiosis, which we have already covered in the video session, so no need to write that again. But these first 6, that is chromosome, centromere, aster, spindle fibers, all those differentiate you have to note down in the book, okay, from the Anish tutorial textbook. Okay, so now, okay, so with that we have completed this chapter of cell division and structure of chromosome, that is structure of chromosome, cell cycle and cell division. Okay, so in the first part what we discussed was the structure of chromosome. We also saw the different parts of the chromosome and we wrote down all the question answers related to that. Then in the second part we discussed the types of cell division, significance of cell division. The stages of mitosis are very important. Practice all diagrams by drawing them neatly. Okay, and then in meiosis the process of crossing over is very important. Then significance of meiosis is the significance which occurs in the crossing over itself, and the significance is that it is responsible for formation of the gametes. Okay, so all that we have discussed at length. We have written all the question answers also. Now see that you do the homework, and the board questions for this chapter, that is the cell division and structure of chromosomes, we will be discussing in the Zoom session. So with this video session we have completed all the aspects related to the chapter. Okay, so happy studying. See that you do your homework and stay safe and healthy in the house. Thank you.